Anyway.
Right, let's go to another question that we got. Right, yes, this was the one. Which current Arsenal player fits into the Invincible team? It's tough.
It's for me. It has to be out of 3 players.
3 players?
Yeah.
I think you'd struggle to find one that fits into your Invincible team, mate.
No, because I mean, there's Declan Rice.
All right, I'll let you. Replaces who?
Gilberto, possibly. I think that's close. Right?
Okay, right.
Then obviously I would take Saka over.
So hold on, before we move on, because obviously listen, you all know how this is. I'm going to clip this up, have a poll. Declan Rice or Gilberto Silva?
It's a tough one. I think I'm going Declan Rice.
You're going Declan Rice.
I am.
Gilberto Silva was a G.
He was. World Cup winner, played every minute of that World Cup. Was excellent for us.
And some of these players that do their job.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? When they do their job properly, they ain't trying to run up and down and be box to box. I mean, Declan Rice is fantastic.
I would take Declan Rice, though.
You're picking Declan Rice over Gilberto Silva.
I would. And then I would also take Saka over Ljungberg, for sure.
Okay, hold on. We start again. Here's the next one. Saka or Ljungberg, Freddie Ljungberg. Who'd you pick?
Bukayo Saka every day of the week. Yep. Ljungberg's a legend, but Saka.
So Rice replaces Gilberto Silva.
Yeah.
Saka replaces Ljungberg.
And Saliba replaces Kolo Toure.
Saliba, not Gabriel.
No, because Gabriel would be Campbell, innit? And I'm picking Campbell. As Gabriel's my favourite Arsenal player, by the way. But Saliba over Kolo Toure. Yeah.
Those are the 3.
Yeah, they're the only 3.
You'd put into the Invincible team.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's a good answer, man. That's amazing. Yeah. And that's hopefully going to get some good reaction. I'm a bit shocked on the Gilberto Silva one. I understand you always go with current times and how you feel now.
No.
I think Gilberto Silva was a massive player for you.
He was a massive player. Do not get me wrong. But who do I think's an overall better footballer? I mean, Declan Rice and Patrick Vieira together. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I just think it's hard to put players that have not won the Premier League into a team that went unbeaten.
Yeah, but then you just
won your gold spray painted cup that you guys call gold plated. That's all they talk about.
Oh, you mean what Ferguson said?
Yeah.
Ferguson called the greatest achievement ever.
Is that what he said? Yeah, he's lost it though.
Yeah, well,
I was going to say something. I was going to say something a bit mad there, but let's leave it. But yeah,
don't get us cancelled.
Exactly. I was going to say something a bit mad there. Right. The next question off that: which player would you take out of the Invincible team? I think this one's easy. Let me start again. Which player would you take out of the Invincible team and put into this one to win the league?
I think, like you said, it's an easy answer.
Yeah.
We need goals.
Does he do it?
We need the king.
Does he? Does he?
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Put Thierry Henry in this team. Oh my God, that's giving me.
Do you think so?
It's making me get excited.
He fits in that style. He fits in.
Yeah, everything, man. He could just do it all. He's the greatest player in the Premier League history. He does it.
I'd argue that. We all saw the Sky Sports thing. Ronaldo beat him, and then they mustered up some new point system to get him top because he was on the show.
What? No,
Did you not watch that?
No, I saw they had Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo was top.
What? And then they do another one.
And then they did some next thing to muster it up, so Henry won it.
Yeah, but Henry.
And it was just mate, do us
Ronaldo,
all a
had
favour.
Ronaldo stayed, probably would have been him. But for longevity, I have to say it was Henry.
For me,
yeah. Henry got 4 golden boots.
We're drifting now. We can stick on this, right? But for me,
but let's right. Thierry Henry or Cristiano
Ronaldo's in another hemisphere to Henry.
Not in the Premier League, he wasn't.
I'd say he was.
No way.
No
way in hell. Thierry Henry is the greatest.
And
it's widely known he's the greatest.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen. Let's move on to this question because this goes off what we just said. What's more impressive, winning the treble or going invincible?
Winning the treble is more impressive.
Fair play to you.
That's it. Winning the treble is more impressive. But don't get me wrong.
I'm surprised, because in the group chat, these lot were talking about their gold-plated thing and how they went, unbeaten. It is impressive. But, mate, winning a treble, there's no comparison.
Winning the Champions League as well. I would go as far as to say even winning the Champions League and Premier League double is even better, to be fair.
Okay, winning the double.
Yeah.
Oh, winning a Champions League and a Premier League.
If you told me next season.
Not the old school double.
If you said next season, do you want Arsenal to win the league and go invincible again, as appetizing as that sounds, or do you want us to win the Champions League and the Premier League? Come on, I'm saying Premier League and Champions League.
Play.
But, however, a lot of teams do win the treble right? Not loads, but City have done it now. You have done it. You know, Barcelona have done it.
I get it. It's
PSG have done it.
It's something that you feel like no one's done. Yeah.
As far as I know, only Arsenal have done it in England. I know Juventus done it in Serie A, and now obviously Leverkusen have done it.
So you feel like that's yours. You feel like
it's
that's
our
yours.
thing. Yeah, it's our thing, and we love it. But
do you think anyone? Do you think
anyone?
anyone will do it and beat the run ever?
Do you know what?
You think if City haven't done it, it's
I thought City were going to be the team to do it. I thought, you know what, City will end up doing it, but I can't see anyone doing it now.
No.
All the lower teams have got better. We got some luck in that as well. Do you know what I mean? You'd need so much luck.
You're being very honest, boy.
Yeah, we did get you. Listen, you need luck to win a league title, let alone
there was a lot of draws in that. There was a lot of draws.
Well, there was only actually eight draws, and then towards the end, we had won the league, so it was just don't lose, which is it's normal. We've got 90 points. So still very, very high tally. 12 draws, 26 wins. Obviously. Van Nistelrooy missing the penalty. That was like 10 games in. If he scores that, there's no, you know what I mean? There was a game
Isn't that one, where he hits the crossbar and Keown goes nuts on him?
There was a game when we played Portsmouth. They missed a load of chances. There was loads of games, there's always going to be games where
but you're lucky so fair play. You've said the treble's a bigger achievement, this one's for me. Which player would you take out of United's treble team to change United's fortune?
Or to guarantee United stay up. Yeah.
As he says again. The team's so bad, isn't it? That
I think there's only one answer.
You think there's only one answer?
Yeah. Let's see if you're thinking the right person.
I think you want to say Roy Keane.
Yeah, of course.
I think you want to say Roy Keane.
That's the man you need in that team now. He would ruffle some feathers and get people playing properly.
I'll be honest.
Look. They will look at Gary Neville when they speak to him. All of them, like even Beckham's mum and dad, come on and they just love Roy Keane. He had them boys whipped into shape. They knew they had to perform.
You can see the vibe he creates.
You can see it. And you can see it when Arsenal, when I think Wrighty and Henry, when they talk about Tony Adams, he's really interested. And he's like, I love to hear about all this. No, he says, I love to see these players, to hear these stories that you you're winners.
What I will say though, mate, is unfortunately in the world we live in now, that style, that you can't get a funny.
Yeah, but let's not get it twisted though. Roy Keane was a very good footballer as well.
Yeah, no one's saying that. Yeah. No, he was a baller.
Anyone who thinks he was just tackles and red cards does not watch football.
Right, listen.
Right,
he was box to box. He scored goals.
Fantastic.
So here's another one before we continue this: Roy Keane or Declan Rice? Yeah.
Roy Keane all day long.
It's Roy Keane all day long.
Listen, better question for everyone. Roy Keane or Patrick Vieira?
No, it's Roy Keane.
Well, for me, it's Patrick Vieira was just that little bit more graceful. So I'd give
it's Roy Keane because of what he's won. I mean,
what he did alone. Vieira's won a World Cup.
Yeah. So's Paul Pogba. Yeah. So's Paul Pogba.
Yeah, but
win a World Cup in a team that's full of sausages. Yeah. Fair play. Yeah. Paul Pogba's won a World Cup and he was known as the talisman that won it for them. Remember there was clips of him like speaking to, and look where Paul Pogba is now. You know what I'm trying to say? Vieira was fantastic, but all I've got to highlight is Roy Keane against Juventus in that treble season.
Yeah, I'm phenomenal. And he plays that down as well, but it was a phenomenal. But Vieira's
unbelievable. But back to what we were saying, you're saying the only answer is Roy Keane. To go into that Man United
all right, but
team.
you're saying Roy Keane, I'm saying Vieira. We should have a poll on that though.
Yeah. Before we move on, Roy Keane or Patrick Vieira, I'm sure loads of people have seen this. For me, it's Roy Keane all day long, simply based on you've said Vieira's won the World Cup.
For me, it's not that.
That's my answer.
I feel like they are very similar players, but Vieira had that little bit more grace about him on the ball, that little bit more elegance, and I think he just edges it over.
Totally, I like players though that have that grunt work. That are not stylish.
Vieira had both.
He did. He was fantastic. But Roy Keane was something else, mate.
Anyway, there's fine margins.
But you say
every Arsenal fan will say Vieira,
of course,
and most United fans. will say
But you say Roy Keane in this current Man United team.
Yeah, I mean, who else? Who would you take?
But before we move on to that, I was saying that in this current time, look at the players we've had recently. Players like Sancho, who apparently late to training, gaming all night. Yeah. This is not me.
Smoking weed.
Is that what they're saying? Yeah.
No, I'm only joking.
Blimey.
But there's little clips in it.
There's little clips. Funny, most of it's probably memes and banter, yeah. But that is, he's late all the time. He had to go off to some camp for his bless him, his mental health. Remember Ten Hag?
Yeah.
So imagine Roy Keane coming in there and just telling him, "Oi, you're shit.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Your attitude stinks." Like throwing boots at his head. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Players like Rashford can't handle that. Like, you know when players like Rashford and Casemiro went to we had just lost the game.
Yeah.
And they went to New York to watch a basketball match. Roy Keane's not going to have any of that.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to work in this day and age.
Yeah. I hear you.
It's a tough one because this team's an absolute disaster. But if I had to pick one from that treble winning team, I think it would have to be Paul Scholes. And the only reason is...
Dictate the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a player.
And to answer your question, that would stop us from being relegated at least.
Yeah.